Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedExForum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedExForum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedExForum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to talk college basketball, because we are now less than a week away from the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic, going to be happening right here inside FedExForum. Interesting report from the Daily Memphian last night about the event. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, R.J. Davis, the reigning ACC Player of the Year at North Carolina, is going to join me. He'll be in town next week to play against Memphis in the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic inside FedExForum. In the meantime, he's going to be with me on Zoom in the next segment. UNC All-American R.J. Davis going to be here in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to R.J., take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, woohoo! Mets beat the Phillies 7-2 yesterday at Citi Field. Jesse Winker put one in the upper deck. Can't wait to show it to you. Closeout game for the Mets this afternoon. We'll celebrate together in about 40 minutes. Wild game last night at Petco in San Diego. Fernando Tatis homered and the Padres beat the Dodgers 6-5. There was a controversial play that busted the game wide open early. I'll show it to you in just a bit. Variety has published a new list of the 100 greatest horror films of all time. Number 1 is a classic from the 70s. I'll get Bennett's thoughts on that in the third segment. The WNBA Finals are now set. Game 1 is tomorrow. We'll spend a few minutes on that in the second hour, and we'll I got some bad news.
What's going on?
This is a tough thing. A researcher has predicted.
Goodness, I'm scared.
You should be. A researcher has predicted that human life expectancy is not going to grow much more. You ever talk to somebody and they're like, we're like one generation away to be able to live forever.
Oh, yeah. People are like, oh, we're close to being able to live to 120 or so. Yeah, I got you.
That's not what this researcher says.
What?
We pretty much maxed out.
We maxed out.
We're about where we're going to be.
Okay.
We're about where we're going to be.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it, too.
Yeah.
I'm already kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm already a little
I don't
bored.
even want to think what it would be like to live to be 100.
Yeah, I ain't having that much fun right now.
Right.
You know, I can imagine how much fun I'm going to have when I'm 100.
That scares me.
Yeah, I'll give you all the numbers.
Okay,
I'll tell
good.
you what the researchers said. We're going to do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out. We'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with college basketball because we are now less than 4 weeks away. Did you realize that? Less than 4 weeks away from the start of college basketball's regular season and only 6 days away from the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic that's going to be held inside FedExForum. It's a doubleheader scheduled for Tuesday. Game 1, South Carolina women, Dawn Staley, your reigning national champions. They're going to be on the court taking on the Memphis women. That is scheduled to tip at 6 o'clock. Then game 2 is going to start around 8:30. North Carolina men, your reigning ACC champs, preseason top 5 team. They're going to play the Memphis men, again, around 8:30. Tickets are available right now at Ticketmaster.com. All proceeds are going to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital here in downtown Memphis. But there seems to be a growing concern that the proceeds might not be what we're hoping for them to be. Parth had the story last night, DailyMemphian.com. Chris Boyson, who's the senior vice president of ALSAC, told Parth that only about 5,000 tickets for the event have been claimed. It's unsurprising for a lot of reasons I'll explain in a minute, but it is also concerning because officials have explained that the long-term future of this event will depend on next week's turnout. So if you want this to be a regular season event, even a regular season tournament annually, then what we're being told is that we need a nice crowd inside FedExForum on Tuesday night for this doubleheader. And right now it appears we might not get one. Big Bet Bennett, are you concerned? I know how much you care about this city and all of the great things downtown. Are you concerned that we might be missing out on an opportunity to have this as an annual big regular season event? Because as of this moment, it looks like the 10,000 fans that they were hoping for, it appears we might fall a little short of that.
I hope not. Obviously, I'm excited about this. I think it has potential to be an awesome event for the city. I hope a ton of people go and pack this thing out. We're going to buy tickets, and I'm going to bring my family. So the thing is I think if this was an actual regular season game, it would be a way easier sell than selling an exhibition game.
It'd be part of a season ticket package as well.
Exactly. And we knew that off the front end.
Like just to hammer home the point, like in theory, there might be more tickets sold for a Memphis Rice game inside FedExForum than a Memphis North Carolina game inside FedExForum because the Memphis Rice game, and I don't even know if they're playing Rice. You get the point. Is going to be. I hope not. Too.
God,
is going to be part of the season ticket package. Whereas this is just if you want to go watch the Tigers, the men and the women, on Tuesday night and see Dawn Staley and see Hubert Davis and see R.J. Davis, you just got to come out of your pocket. It's like. Think of this not as a basketball game that you've already purchased tickets to. Think of it as like it's a Tuesday night concert. You want to go or you don't want to go.
Yeah.
You got to come out of your pocket, and this seems to be one of the issues among some fans. Like I just went and clicked on the story last night, started reading the responses, and I bet you can guess what most of the responses were.
Too expensive.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
It's
for an exhibition game. I think that's worth mentioning. I mean, I know this is a big event, but the prices are pretty expensive for an exhibition game.
The word exhibition carries like some weight.
Yeah.
It implies this ain't a real thing.
Right.
It's a cool thing.
It's definitely a cool thing.
But Tyrese Hunter can score 70 points or 7, and it won't be a part of anything officially once that game is done. It's an exhibition. Typically, Memphis plays them against, say, Lemoyne Owen or Christian Brothers. In this case, it's just going to be North Carolina and connected to an event designed to raise money for that amazing hospital downtown. But the prices are steep relative to what you would think you normally pay to go to an exhibition. Like the Grizzlies are playing an exhibition for lack of a better term, tomorrow night. It's a preseason game. It's an exhibition. Doesn't count. Just like next week's game for the Tigers against North Carolina is an exhibition. It will not count. You can get into the lower level pretty cheap tomorrow night, I would assume. You can get into the building pretty cheap tomorrow night, I would assume. If you want to take a family of four, that's what people always say, family of four. You got a family of four. You have a family of four.
Yes.
You want to take a family of four to FedExForum on Tuesday night and sit in the lower level. Once you pay fees and everything else, I did it this morning. It's $491.06. It's $491.06 would be your total for 4 tickets in the lower level for next week's doubleheader. The cheapest ticket, let's just say you're solo, single, and you just want to get in the building just to put your eyes on Dawn Staley and Hubert Davis. If the South Carolina women are here and the North Carolina men are here, those are two of the biggest brands in basketball. I'm going to be there to see it in person.
Right.
I'm going by myself. I just want to get in the building. Cheapest ticket available, $44.25. And that seems to be the biggest obstacle here for some fans. Like that's not a inexpensive night out. Times are tough for some people.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy to just tell people you need to support this thing. And I hope people do. But there are some people who I promise you they would just quite literally tell you, I can't afford to take my family to this.
Yeah, I mean, just for comparison, like me and Noah went to a Memphis football game a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I got us both tickets, parking, food. I had a drink. Like it was, we had the whole experience. It was under $100 for the whole thing.
Right.
So in comparison, I mean that's a pretty hefty price. I'm hoping that maybe tickets go down. I'm not sure.
Well, let me tell you the way to think of this.
Yeah.
Let me coach everybody through this because I think it's a tough ask to just tell random families of four to pay $500 to come sit in the lower level for an exhibition next Tuesday night. Right? I think it's just a hard ask. You got to think of it this way. Don't think of it as I'm paying money to go to a basketball game. That's what you're doing, but don't think of it that way.
No, you're right, and I'm with you where you're going.
Think of it this way. Think of it as a GoFundMe for the University of Memphis. Think of it as a GoFundMe for St. Jude.
Yeah.
Think of it as a GoFundMe for whatever it is that motivates you when you see a GoFundMe come across your Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever else you see these things. Don't get caught up in is this really what I have to pay to go watch an exhibition basketball game on a Tuesday night? Is this it's a donation. It is. You're right. It's a donation. When I donate to GoFundMes, I don't expect to get anything out of that other than whatever good feeling might come from knowing that you helped somebody who needed some help. And I actually do have experienced that feeling perhaps it's for the wrong reasons, but when I donate to a GoFundMe, you see somebody in need or you see some cause that moves you, and I donate to that, and I don't expect anything. It's not like I'm expecting to get a T-shirt out of the deal or a coffee mug out of the deal. I'm just these people or this thing needs help. I'm compelled to help. I'm fortunate enough to be able to. I'm going to do that, and it just makes me feel good. It just makes me feel like I'm doing my part. I can go to bed at night going, hey, I did my part. I tried to help. I tried to be a selfless person, at least in this moment. That's the way you have to look at this. If you are interested in trying to help the University of Memphis, and that's what everybody over at the University of Memphis keeps talking about now, as we're dealing with conference realignment and the reality that I think Memphis officials know that moving to the new Pac-12 is actually an upgrade in conferences and would be a better place for you to call home, but they can't afford to do it. And they are consistently saying, in their own words, this is certainly the message, we're stuck. We're kind of stuck here waiting on the next great thing, but we can't even afford to do this thing, even if it's better. In the meantime, we just need you to support us. Just be there for us. Show up at Simmons Bank. Show up at FedExForum. Support the Tigers, men and women. And hopefully one day we'll look up and we'll have a better neighborhood than the one we know you're all tired of. That's sort of the message. And I don't know that it's a great message, but it's the message. And this is just an extension of that. If you are a Memphian, somebody who cares about the Tigers, you probably also care about St. Jude because, I mean, how could you not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right.
And that's the easiest thing in the world to care about.
Right.
Okay? So whether you care about the Tigers or not, I'm assuming if you've got a heart, you care about St. Jude.
Sure.
And then you care about the Tigers. This donation that you would be making, it will benefit St. Jude and the families that are lucky to have that place, but obviously unlucky to even be dealing with the situation that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
It will help them. It will also help the University of Memphis. It will also help downtown. It will also help FedExForum. I don't love that they're tying, or at least appear to be tying, the success of an exhibition, using that as a gauge to try to determine what this could be moving forward, because an exhibition at these prices might not move the needle, but if it were a regular season tournament with similar brands, that could work in a different way than a doubleheader exhibition might work. So it's a little bit apples to oranges when they say, if you don't show up for this, we don't know what this is going to be going forward. But if you do show up for this, it could be a regular season thing going forward. I don't love, this will determine that. But if you take them at their word, and I have no reason not to, then they're going to be watching the crowd next Tuesday night to try to determine the future of this event. And if you care about all the things I've already mentioned, again, the list is long. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, the University of Memphis, FedExForum, downtown, any of these things. If you care about any of these things, think of this event next Tuesday night as a GoFundMe for all of those things. Because if we get a good crowd, all of those things will benefit. And if we don't, they won't benefit as much.
Yeah, you definitely have to see the bigger picture. They're asking you to see the bigger picture with this because, dude, make no mistake, if this was a regular season doubleheader, it'd probably be sold out.
I don't know.
Dude, I mean, if it was a regular season home game, one of the first times you get to see either team, your Tigers men's or women's team.
How about this? If it were, I don't know. I don't know if a sellout's even possible for that basketball program right now.
I think with North Carolina and South Carolina coming to town in a doubleheader,
maybe. I hope you're right.
Got you.
I hope you're right and I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But what they are telling us is that it needs to look good for it to become everything we've imagined it might be able to become. And so it's important for people to be there. I understand, I'm not just telling you to go
do this. Yeah, I got you.
I'm not telling you to take out a loan to go support St. Jude and the University of Memphis. Times are tough for people. I get it. But if you are somebody who can afford to, let's just call it, donate money to various things connected to the city that can be improved by your help, if you are capable of doing that, this is a good time to do it. Think of it, again, like anything else in life. Every once in a while, I'll be driving around and you'll stop at a intersection, right? And I was on my way somewhere a few weeks ago, and there's these little kids at the red light, and they were just selling Gatorades and bottled waters and stuff, and, I could go in a store and buy a Gatorade for a couple bucks. They were selling them for like $5. And I gave them 10. I said, I'll take, how about I take one and you can keep one for yourself? Now, was it $10? Is that money well spent on a, Gatorade?
Probably not.
Probably not. But you know what I saw in that moment? I'm not trying to make myself out to be something I'm not. I saw.
I get the comp.
I just saw young people out there hustling. There's probably a million things they could have been doing on that afternoon. Some of them not so great. And they were out there, hustling, trying to make a buck in an honest way. I could help that. So I did. Roll my window down and I helped that. So I did. I felt good about that. Does it make sense to be paying $10 for a Gatorade? No. But I didn't even think of it in those terms. I don't even think I drank the Gatorade because it was not sugar-free, and I don't drink non-sugar-free Gatorades. I don't even think
Massive flex.
I don't even think I drank it. I think I gave it to
whatever.
I think I gave it away, right?
Okay.
Right? But I didn't think of it as is this really worth $10? A little Gatorade? I didn't think of that any more than I would think about, is it really worth paying $500 to take a family of 4 to an exhibition doubleheader? I just said, hey, this is a good thing I can do. I'm going to do it. Hopefully some people do it next week.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, if you can't go, buy tickets and give them to somebody.
There you go, Bennett. That's a good idea, too. I saw some people, I was looking at the comments on social media, and they were saying, hey, I am going to do exactly that. I can't go because I'm going to be out of town or whatever, or my kid's got a football game or whatever's going on. I can't go, but I am going to buy tickets, and I would like to donate them to a St. Jude family and allow them to go.
There you go.
There you go. So that's a good thing, too, right?
That is a good thing.
Hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, I hope so, too.
Hey.
Let's pack the bowl. Well, that's for the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, fill the forum.
I mean, it's still a bowl.
It is a bowl. Let's fill the forum.
Let's fill the forum.
Hashtag fill the forum.
It doesn't sound as cool. It doesn't sound as cool.
What do you want me to do?
Let me think. I'll think on something. I'll think on something.
Can you work on it?
We'll go with fill the forum right now.
Here's a real treat. I think you should be supporting this thing if you can, simply because it's a great thing for our city and for that amazing hospital down the road. But if you really are just into the basketball, what if I told you there is only one consensus first-team All-American, men's or women's college basketball, who returned to college basketball this year? And he will be inside FedExForum on Tuesday night. His name's R.J. Davis. He's a reigning ACC Player of the Year, All-American at North Carolina. His name's going to hang in the rafters someday inside the Dean Smith Center. He's going to join me next from Chapel Hill. I'll talk to R.J. Davis about the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic and about North Carolina's season and about ending Coach K's career a few years ago in the Final Four. R.J. Davis from UNC. He'll join me next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Ja Morant, this player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season.
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring an injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Number 9 is going to go into the rafters this year, and so make sure if you don't have tickets already, go grab those.
Okay,
March 15th, you know the night now.
Yo,
Tony Allen, Jersey
dope.
Retirement Night. You got a big-time night, too. A Saturday night against Miami this is a great one.
That's lit. That's lit, man. Big shout out.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Beat the Phillies in Game 3 of the NLDS at Citi Field yesterday. It means a closeout game for New York is scheduled for this afternoon. We're going to talk baseball in the next segment. But right now, I want to turn our attention to college basketball because the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic is scheduled for next week here inside FedExForum. It's going to be a doubleheader on Tuesday. Game 1 is going to be Dawn Staley and her South Carolina women who double as the reigning national champions. That's going to be against the Memphis women at 6 o'clock. And then Game 2, it's going to be Hubert Davis and his North Carolina men who double as the reigning ACC champs against the Memphis men at 8:30. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. All proceeds going to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Should be a fun night in part because on the court, we're going to get to see the only consensus first-team All-American from last season who returned to college basketball this year. His name is R.J. Davis. He's North Carolina's All-American guard, the reigning ACC Player of the Year, and he's nice enough to join me this morning from Chapel Hill. R.J. Davis, it's Gary Parrish. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Now, I appreciate you being here. I mentioned that all proceeds from next week's event are going to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Let's start there. What does it mean to you personally to participate in something that's raising real money for the children battling cancer here in downtown Memphis and the families who are obviously fighting with them?
It means a lot, just to kind of give back and, support a great cause to those families and kids. It's more than basketball. So just for us to be able to raise money and, support them through these hard times, I think it's a great sign of, both teams coming together to support a cause.
So I know a lot of people are excited about you guys being here next week. Over at CBSSports.com, I have your Tar Heels ranked 4th in the country and picked to win the ACC. Admittedly, though, I don't know your team as well as you know your team. So I want to ask you about your team. You know what a Final Four team looks like. You've been on one a couple of years ago. Is this North Carolina team built to make another Final Four?
Yes, I do believe that. I mean, this team is so talented and has the potential of doing a lot of great things. It's probably the most athletic team I've been on since my 4 years, going on 5 now. So just from the wings perspective and guards and just the way we play, I think it was going to be a great team. The talent's there. The potential's there, so we just got to continue to stack days, and I think and hopefully, God willing, we'll be playing in the first week of April.
Like I mentioned earlier, you are the only first-team All-American who returned to college this year. It's not a normal thing. I'm not pocket watching, I promise. I'm genuinely happy you guys are finally getting something that better reflects what you're worth to these schools and the television networks like the one that I work for. That said, I would like to get your perspective on how NIL opportunities did influence your decision. You're already a North Carolina graduate. Would you still be in school if NIL didn't exist, or would you have already moved on to whatever professional opportunities were out there for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think just in terms of having the 5th year, having another year to play at this prestigious university, despite NIL, I probably would have came back just because I promised myself since I stepped onto campus to kind of play in the national championship, but also win it. I got the chance of doing that my sophomore year. Came up short, a rebound short. So kind of just get that feeling back, that same intensity back, because it was a great feeling. It's once in a lifetime type of experience. You're not going to get that at the next level. Playing with your brothers and fighting for a common good and a common goal throughout the whole year is something that you can't ask for, and not a lot of people get to experience that. So. Coming back from my 5th year, it was a hard decision to make, but I feel like it was the best decision for myself and for my career to kind of just continue to improve on and off the court, just so I can reach the next level, whenever that is.
Every college basketball player I've ever talked to mentions that if they're going to stay in school for 4 years, in your case now 5, they want to try to get better, improve on things every season. Not everybody does it. You obviously have. You go from as a freshman, sort of a role player on a talented team, to not only the best player at North Carolina, but one of the best players in the entire country. You're the reigning ACC Player of the Year. You're a consensus first-team All-American. You're going to get votes for preseason National Player of the Year. When did you realize that you weren't only capable of being an important piece at North Carolina, but you were capable of being quite literally one of the best players in the entire country?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I realized it until like my junior year, going into my senior year. I think each year, I kind of just, stayed to myself and stayed down, kept my head down and continued to work. And I always knew the type of player I was, the capabilities I had in my game and just overall as a leader. So it was more about just kind of improving every year. And I think I, did that just in terms of, my statistics with, shooting the ball, the points averages, being able to be a point guard. And I played with a lot of great players with a lot of talent. So, going into my senior year was really just about, how I want to be remembered, how I want the senior year to go. Because it was in my head, it was like my last year in terms of, it was Mondo's last year. And I think we had a really great chance of doing a lot of great things with that team. So going into my senior year was really when I, prayed a lot and kind of found myself and found the abilities I was able to do. And that's when I really started to believe in myself more than anybody. And I think my parents, they kind of uplifted me a lot. They sometimes had more belief in me than I do in myself. And I kind of just, held myself accountable. Just for when days I didn't feel like working out, or in days in practice when things get hard, or when there's a lack of energy. That's when I really started to take that leadership role in that role into this is something that I could make successful and have a successful year.
One of my favorite things about being in Chapel Hill at the Dean Smith Center is you look up and you see these iconic banners. It's Jordan, it's Worthy. Has it hit you yet that your name, your number is going to hang alongside that someday?
It hasn't. It really hasn't. I mean, just in terms of like the amount of players that have played here, I mean, it's just so many icons and so many great players that have played there. And just from, my number, my name to go up there and be right next to them, it's mind blowing to me. And I really haven't put into words and really put into perspective. But I think once I actually see it go up there, I'll probably just have tears of joy, just because I know how much of a roller coaster it has been. For me, just through my past 5 years and how much hard work I put in to get to this point. So it hasn't hit me yet, but I think once I see my jersey go up there, it's going to just be a sign of relief.
I'm talking to RJ Davis. He's the All-American at North Carolina. He's going to be in town Tuesday night. Doubleheader inside FedExForum. It's the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. Like I mentioned, I've got you guys fourth in my preseason rankings that I do at CBSSports.com. I'm a believer, but every time I tweet about North Carolina, somebody expresses some concern about the front court. Armando Bacot is no longer in Chapel Hill. In fact, he's actually here in Memphis now. I know your backcourt is strong with you and Elliott and five-star freshman Ian Jackson. The front court, less proven. Tell me about the front court players you guys are going to be relying on this season. What should I expect to see from them once we get going?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Armando's gone, but this is a great opportunity for our bigs to step up, and they've been doing that all off season, from Jalen Washington to Vin to Jay Witt. They've been extremely great in practice and been pushing each other to kind of just putting themselves in the position to be great all year. I think our front court is going to be great. They've been doing a great job of constantly communicating and talking to us guards on where to be on offensively and defensively. So I'm expecting big things from them. I know a lot of people have their worries about it, but I know what we got in this locker room is real, and what we got in our front court is real. So they're going to go out there battling and playing the hardest.
You are obviously going to leave Chapel Hill with an incredible career filled with accolades. I want to go back to 2022. That's the year you went to the Final Four. But while doing that, you also were able to beat Mike Krzyzewski in his final game at Cameron Indoor. You then beat Mike Krzyzewski in his final game as Duke's head coach in the Final Four. Let's stop there before we get to that Monday night. What was that like, beating Duke twice in the final weeks of Coach K's obviously incredible career?
Yeah, I mean, it was a surreal moment. And, kind of just go back to that. I mean, going into that game, of Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, I mean, no one believed that we were going to win that game, just because of, they beat us at home, and it was quite a blowout. So going into that week, I mean, we knew in the locker room what we had, and we believed in ourselves. And going to that week, I mean, just from, the starting five to the bench, everyone just felt that we had a chance of really winning. And, going into that game, we had a lot of confidence, and we came out victorious, and then kind of just playing in the Final Four against Coach K and that Duke team, which was a phenomenal team with a lot of NBA prospects. It was a great moment just because, to go down in history and be like the first two teams to ever play in the college rivalry in the Final Four. I mean, that's something like only you could dream of. And kind of just, recircling back on that and revisiting, it doesn't feel like too long ago. I feel like I just played it last year. But it's one of the best experiences that I've had playing here at the University of North Carolina. One of the most fun times I've had. And kind of just coming out with that win, it meant a lot, not to this program, but I think to the whole wide world, just because of everyone knew the backstory and the history to those two great teams. And it goes beyond us. So playing that Final Four and that rivalry, I mean, it's something that I remember forever, and I'll be able to tell my kids about whenever I get older.
So that was on Saturday. 48 hours later, you're in the national championship game against Kansas. You lose at 72-69. You're up 15 points at halftime. You were up 16 points in the first half. When you look back on that, what memories do you have from the way that night unfolded?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of mixed emotions, man. I mean, just in terms of being up at halftime and, things going the way they were going well for us. We was playing well. We was, getting stops on defense, finding the right guys for the right shots. I think second half, we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit and settled a little bit. And that's what made Kansas be able to get their run. And, I kind of learned a lot from that, just from that game and that experience, to never take your foot off the gas. Doesn't matter how many points you're up. If you're down, there's always a way and there's always a will to fight back through games. And that was a big learning lesson for me. It was definitely something that I had to deal with because, you're right there to win a national championship, have the confetti fall and, kind of cut down the nets one more time. But, it was a lot of mixed emotions, but so I definitely want to get back to that feeling.
I'm talking to RJ Davis, All-American guard at North Carolina. He's going to be in town Tuesday night. The Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic inside FedExForum, North Carolina against Memphis. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. You are the reigning ACC Player of the Year. You are the favorite to be the ACC Player of the Year again. But if you don't win it, most people think it will be because of a 17-year-old who has moved in down the street from you in Durham. His name is Cooper Flagg. One of my favorite things about this ACC race is that most people believe it's going to be North Carolina and Duke, and the Tar Heels are led by you, a 22-year-old who turns 23 later on this month. Early happy birthday. On the other side, it's a Duke team with a 17-year-old who won't turn 18 until a few days before Christmas. How much have you seen Cooper Flagg? What do you make of that rivalry between North Carolina and Duke that is going to be headlined by both of you guys this season, both of whom are projected to be first-team All-Americans?
Yeah, I think it'll just be great for college sports, just in terms of, who Cooper is and what he brings to the table. I mean, extremely great athlete, great NBA prospect, and it plays extremely hard. So that's something that, Duke could ask for, and something that will work well for them. And I think it'll just be great, just in terms of college basketball and kind of for us to be a rivalry, UNC versus Duke, and for us to go head to head. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be something that I think everyone's gonna tune into. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the matchup, and kind of just continue to just take one step at a time, one day at a time. I think that will be perfect for not only for me but for our team to get to where we want to be.
Wrap it up here with RJ Davis, North Carolina guard. He's going to be in town next Tuesday for the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic, North Carolina and Memphis. That'll follow the South Carolina women against the Memphis women inside FedExForum. Last thing before I let you go, I know you were born in White Plains, New York, raised in White Plains, New York. I've been in your airport many times. You're about 20 miles or so from Yankee Stadium, about 20 miles or so from Citi Field. I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but did you follow baseball at all growing up in the shadows of those two major league franchises? And if so, which team do you prefer? And look at my hat before you answer.
I'm not really a big baseball fan guy, but I'll keep up here and there whenever the playoffs come around. But I used to play for New York Gauchos, and the Yankee Stadium was not too far from Gauchos gym, so I'm gonna have to go with Yankees. I know you got a Mets hat on, but I'm gonna go with the Yankees.
I respect it, brother. Stay loyal to whatever you're loyal to. I appreciate it. That's RJ Davis, North Carolina guard. He's going to be at FedExForum on Tuesday night. Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic. All proceeds benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. RJ, I can't thank you enough for fitting me in your schedule today. I'll see you next week. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gary, for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. That's R.J. Davis, North Carolina All-American guard. That's a real treat next week. He is quite literally, whether it's Division I men's basketball, Division I women's basketball, there is only one consensus first-team All-American who is back in college this season, and that's R.J. Davis, the All-American guard from North Carolina.
And I mean, kind of rare that we get to see players like that come into FedExForum for the college game.
Sure.
Like, I mean, we were getting it with Houston, right? With Jamal Shedd, and the guys prior to that, but not getting it as much lately. So that it's a big deal.
North Carolina coming into your building is still a big thing. I mean, that is one of the biggest brands in college athletics, undeniably one of the biggest brands in men's college basketball, and that is somebody who we could be talking, in March, April, and that's your Wooden Award winner.
Mm-hmm.
That's your consensus National Player of the Year. He's got some competition, of course. Cooper Flagg at Duke, Mark Sears at Alabama, Janai Broome at Auburn, but you're talking about guys who really took a leap in terms of production and just dominating the college game. R.J. Davis did that last season, back for a fifth year at Chapel Hill, and that's among the reasons Duke and North Carolina are expected to not only be the biggest brands in the ACC, but to compete for that league title. The gap between Duke, North Carolina, and everybody else in the ACC, at least in the preseason computer rankings, is pretty significant. Wake Forest should be really good. Miami should be good. Maybe Clemson, maybe Louisville, but in most of the preseason rankings, Duke and North Carolina, a level above everybody else. And R.J. Davis and Cooper Flagg are going to be two of the big faces of college basketball throughout this season. I appreciate R.J. being here with me. When we come back, we will turn our attention to baseball. Fun doubleheader yesterday on FS1. Mets beat the Phillies. Then we got Padres and Dodgers. That was wild. Two closeout games scheduled for today. We'll talk baseball after the break. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Home dogs are barking. How about the Minnesota Vikings? Home dog the last 2 weeks. They've been a dog in all three games this season. They're 3-0, winning by 22, winning by 6, and winning by 27. Dominating their opponent, dominating the point spread, 3-0 against the number. And then they're a dog again this week, aren't they? At Green Bay. 2.5 point dog at Green Bay.
They are dogging it.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedExForum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
If I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Mets 7, Phillies 2 in Citi Field yesterday. Capacity crowd in Flushing, Queens, and the Mets jumped on them early. Pete Alonso homered, and then Jesse Winker stepped up to the plate and put one in the upper deck. Let's watch it together,
Okay.
Ben. Can we watch it together?
I'm down to watch it together. Let's watch it together.
Show me Jesse Winker, please.
Yeah, what's up with Jesse Winker?
This time Winker cranks it. It's a no-doubt shot. Upper deck, 2-0.
I can't imagine there's a better feeling than that. Just turning on a ball like that. Putting it in the upper deck. Look at that crowd, Bennett. Did it make you want to be a New Yorker? Did it make you want to put on some orange and blue?
I would love to go to New York.
I'm going to take you someday.
You go, Jesse.
So you could probably see that it was a no-doubter off the bat.
Yep.
And he stood and admired it, but then they cut to the ball. So you don't get the full image of exactly how long he stood there and watched it. They had another camera, because, it's the playoffs. They got cameras everywhere. They had another camera just staying on Jesse Winker the entire time. Watch how long he just stands in one spot after he hits this ball. Show me that one. I love it.
It's the playoffs, man.
It's the playoffs. We've come a long way. Like 5 years ago, you do that, you're going to catch one in the ear your next time up. Now you can kind of just do whatever you want to, and the pitchers just have to take it, right? It's all part of the game now.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's part of the game now. It's a blowout, Citi Field. So now we got a closeout game, 4:08 first pitch. I'm fired up.
How you feeling?
Good.
You got out of that 6th inning yesterday. I was worried for you in that 6th inning yesterday, man.
Sean and I was just cruising.
Yeah.
And then you look up and it's like, oh, Jesus, Bryce Harper's up with representing the go-ahead run.
Yeah, I was like, here we go. This is bad.
I was like, here we go. He got out of it.
Yep. He got out of it. I thought once he got out of that, I was like, okay, they're getting this.
He was so fired up
dude.
when he got out of it.
And that's another thing that's cool about the playoffs is like, it's was it the top of the 6th inning, bottom, something like that. And it's just like, you never see that kind of emotion in a baseball game, ever.
I mean, he's fired up.
It was really cool.
No, the stage is bigger. Undeniable. Postseason anything is always bigger, but in baseball, like it really goes to another level.
Right.
Like NFL playoffs, we're going to all watch them. But you know what else we're going to watch? Everything in the NFL every week.
Right.
There's nothing that happens in the NFL that we don't see. Right?
Right.
An entire baseball season happens without people seeing it. I know you watch baseball and I watch baseball. Most people don't.
Right.
And so this entire summer happens, and there are people who consider themselves sports fans who just never watch baseball, for whatever reason. And then the playoffs start, and it's just sort of there. And you see it all the time. People say playoff baseball. It's a different deal. And you look up and suddenly people are watching a Mets game that have never watched a Mets game all summer, watching a Dodgers game who have never watched a Dodgers game all summer. And if you just tuned in yesterday and you just watched those 2 National League games, the crowds, the big home runs, the tension, it was all off the charts.
Yeah.
And just as that's clear as day when you're watching on television, like this feels different and looks different. You know who else feels that? The players. They feel that. And you see that with the emotion, whether it's Jesse Winker there or Fernando Tatis last night or Sean Manaea when he gets out of that jam. Like they understand, like more people are watching than normal. More people are here than normal. And the stakes are bigger than normal. So it's the best. I've had things going on the past couple of days with the kids. Like I don't like these 4:08 starts. I like to have my baseball at nighttime.
Me too.
Especially on a weekday. And I've had something going on every day. So like yesterday, I had to watch most of this game sitting in the bleachers at my middle guy's football game, just streaming on the phone. So today, we have nothing going on. So I get to settle in front of the TV and watch a closeout game. I'm going to get your prediction on it.
Okay.
In GP's.
Okay.
You better say the right thing, too. Don't break my heart on a Wednesday. LGM, one more win to go.
Number 2.
And then last night, after Mets and Phillies was over, we get Padres-Dodgers Game 3, and it was wild. So the Dodgers go up 1-0 on a Mookie Betts homer. And did you see this? Have you seen the Mookie Betts homer from last night? Profar, it looks like the same play from the weekend.
Yeah, it did.
And Mookie Betts thought that he caught it again. Mookie turned and started running back to the dugout and then realized, oh, no, he didn't catch it. That's a home run. Boom, boom, boom. So you get that moment, which was just strange. I mean, it looked like he hit the ball to the exact same place, just in a different city, in a different part. So the Dodgers go up 1-0. And then the Padres end up scoring 6 runs in the second to go up 6-1. And I'm going to show you something that happened in that inning that was a controversial play in a moment. And you think at that point, okay, well, maybe time to go to bed.
Yeah.
6-1. San Diego's up at home. That's probably it. And then the Dodgers get a grand slam in the top of the third to make it 6-5. And after that, all the scoring was done.
Right.
It ended at 6-5.
Right.
All the runs were done by the top of the third. But still, they turned what looked like it was going to be a blowout or a non-competitive game into something that was compelling all the way through the final pitch. Again, the difference was that second inning for the Padres. They scored 6 runs, in part because of a controversial play that involved Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers' first baseman, and Manny Machado, former Oriole, who now, of course, plays for the Padres. He's going first to second. Watch this play, and then we'll discuss what we're watching after it's done.
On this 1-2 pitch, it's another curve and a grounded to first. Backhand Freeman throws the ball into left center field. It may have ricocheted off of Machado, and the Padres are in business in the second.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Freddie made a great play, but because he was on his knees, he couldn't get up to get the ball out of the throwing lane of where Machado was running.
Watch Machado
he
run
wanted to get that second
on the replay.
The out at second base. Watch this. On his knees, he doesn't have the ability to adjust.
The next angle will be the
right
one.
off the back.
Watch where he goes. Watch him run toward the grass.
Well, Machado then did step inside the baseline a little bit.
Good base running for Manny Machado.
So Freddie Freeman throws the ball. It hits off Machado, trickles into the outfield, and what followed was a 6-run second inning that quite literally decided the game.
Yes.
That play is not reviewable. Once it's a little bit like the in football. Sometimes you'll call something just so you can go look at it, or whatever. If an ump would have said interference on Machado, then they could have looked at it. But if nobody says anything, it's not reviewable. So it just stands as is. It's clear as day, Manny Machado ran into the ball.
Yes.
And they talked to Freddie Freeman about it after the game last night, and he said, yes, I think it's interference, but they didn't call it. And I don't blame Manny. I would have done the same thing.
Right.
That was smart baseball. On FS1 last night, they had the postgame show. So it's David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter. And they were, I don't normally watch the postgame shows, but I think I couldn't find the remote control and I was too tired to get up, and I just sat there and stared at it until I fell asleep. Yeah. But they were discussing this play. And what they explained was, when you're on first, this is just really heads up stuff from Machado. When you're on first and you see a dribbler up the first base line, get into the grass because you cut that angle off and you make the throw difficult for the first baseman. And as Derek Jeter explained last night, if they call you for interference, okay, you're out. But guess what? If you don't interfere, you're out anyway. So it's like you might as well take the chance. It's a little bit like, hey, if you're on the interstate, if you drive the speed limit, you're going to be late for work, all right? Now, you might be late for work if you go 80 as well. You might get pulled over and get caught, and you'll even be later. But might as well take the chance.
Right.
That's what he was doing. Yes, I'm going to interfere with this, but they might not call it. And they didn't. What was interesting, and this is where I just love listening to people who really have played the game at the highest level discuss it. Alex Rodriguez said last night that one of the first things they'll teach you when you get to the minor leagues or, any high level of baseball is if something like that ever happens, do you know what A-Rod said you should do? He said, this is what I would have done.
What?
Threw the ball right into his back. Hit him in the numbers. Don't clip his elbow. Don't try to throw around him. He's in your way.
Yeah.
That is interference. And the best way to get the call, Alex Rodriguez said, just throw it right in his back.
Yeah.
He has a number on his back, hit it. And that's an automatic, they'll call it every time. You have to make them call it. Don't clip him, because then they'll get into a debate and they'll just let it go. Hit him right in the back. And so what Freddie Freeman should have done right there is taken that ball and threw it directly into Manny Machado's back, and they would have called it interference. But because he clipped him, they let it go, and that was the difference in the game. So it's just...
It was a crazy play.
It was a crazy play and a crazy game, and now today we get 4 playoff baseball games.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Like, I love this series because it's contentious. Like, these two teams don't like each other.
That's right.
That makes it that makes it a lot more fun, too.
Oh, it's the fan bases don't like each other. It's two Southern California based franchises. And David Ortiz was talking about this last night. You have this in certain places where one franchise is just historically greater than the other one.
Right.
Honestly, Mets-Yankees is that. Yankees fans are always talking crazy to Mets fans because they have all those World Series titles and we don't have quite as many on our side of town. David Ortiz was explaining last night, like, the Padres have always been the Dodgers' little brother.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cute. You guys are down there and you got a nice little thing going on, but you're not the Dodgers. Relax. And so you carry that around with you. And one of the points they were making last night is the Padres aren't afraid of the Dodgers or intimidated by the Dodgers or in awe of the Dodgers. They think they're better. They think they're the better team. And they looked like it last night. Now they are also just one more victory away from advancing to the NLCS. So if the closeout games are closed out today, it'll be Mets Padres in the NLCS. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Okay, let's not.
I don't want to be a chicken counter before they hatch. Let's just let it all play out. But 4 playoff baseball games today. I can't wait. It's a fun day of television.
Number 3.
Variety has published a list of the 100 greatest horror movies of all time. Bennett, did you see number 1?
I did. I read the entire list, top to bottom.
Jesus, where do you find that kind of time? 1974 classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. As a horror film aficionado,
yes.
Do you co-sign that?
As the greatest horror movie of all time.
All time.
I really like it. I really like it a lot. I got Leatherface chilling right here with me right now.
Well,
there he is. There he is. Hey,
Look at him.
Don't get scared now.
Don't. What's up with Leatherface? How did he end up like that?
Oh, his family's weird.
Yeah,
his family's weird, and when you grow up in a weird home, I think sometimes you can tend to become a serial killer who chops people up and rips their skin off their body.
Man, I guess so.
I mean,
I guess so. That's a wild turn of events.
Happen to you. I love the movie. I don't know if it's the greatest horror movie of all time, but I appreciate the legacy. The list, the top 5 I kind of like. I think the list is actually good, even though I might disagree with some of the placements on it. I think they did a really good job with the list. Like, the top 5 is Rosemary's Baby at 5, Jaws at 4, Psycho at 3, The Exorcist at 2, and Texas Chainsaw at 1. Like, I think that's fine. I could have put The Exorcist at 1. Maybe I think it's the scariest movie of all time. But I don't have a problem with this list at all. There's a couple, like Halloween 16's a little low for me.
The Shining's 18. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You don't love The Shining?
I do like The Shining quite a bit. I do like The Shining quite a bit. It's a good one. Nightmare on Elm Street all the way down at 74. That's pretty low. But like one thing that I did kind of respect, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, no Friday the 13th movie is on this list. None. None.
Not even like...
None. No, none of them are in the top 100, which I think is totally fine because while that franchise is like obviously... I guess legendary, like everybody knows Jason and Friday the 13th. None of those movies are that good. They're just not. Like if you go back and watch,
I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. If you go back and watch Friday the 13th, like just go watch like the first 3.
Nope.
They're not good. Like they're really not good. Not scary, not good.
Wow.
Again, Jason, like respect, all due respect.
Yeah, all due respect.
The movies aren't good.
Huh.
So I respect them leaving it off the list. It's kind of a movie that I really love, The Thing, down at 46. I wish they wouldn't have put that so low, but I like it overall.
Bennett approves for the most part of the list. You can find it for yourself at Variety.com.
Number 4.
WNBA Finals are set. Trivia time. Who's playing?
It is the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx.
How about that?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you lost track at all?
I've been keeping up. I watched the Liberty and Aces series. I'd be lying if I said I watched the Lynx previous series.
I haven't turned it on in a few days. I'm out.
Yeah.
There's too much stuff going on.
There's too much stuff going on.
They've got to figure. We've talked about this a million times. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. They got to figure this out. Yeah. You cannot have your postseason just completely overshadowed by
football and
baseball,
yeah,
and NBA training camps and preseason is just like so. There was a game last night. Well, I can't watch that. I'm watching baseball.
Right.
All right. Then Sunday, you had 2 games. Well, good luck.
Mm-hmm. Good luck on Sundays, right?
You cannot have a historically incredible, unprecedented regular season and then lose Caitlin Clark and then have all your games going up against the NFL or Major League Baseball playoffs.
Well, see, that's the thing is like, I mean, even Major League Baseball playoffs, fine. I would have started this game tonight. I know that you can't legit whatever, but again, you got Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, and then you're gonna have baseball tomorrow night too. You're gonna be competing against a lot with your game one.
I would just I don't know.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Just make me the WNBA president, and this is exactly what I'm saying. You know when we're gonna play? We're gonna play on
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, we're gonna play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. You guys can have the other days, and I would genuinely go to my television partners and just say, we got to get away from the NFL. Yeah. At the very least, just baby steps. Fine, get us away from the NFL.
Yeah, try to schedule us as many Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday games as you can.
I'll turn that on.
I will too.
I have, and I don't know if it's as simple as Caitlin Clark's not involved anymore, although the ratings have plummeted. They're still better than they've historically been, but they're nowhere close to what they would be with Caitlin Clark involved. I do think some of that is also just you're now suddenly going up against the NFL, Major League Baseball playoffs, and that kind of stuff. But this is just not the way to do it. They got to figure this out.
Yeah,
they have a good product that people are starting to attach to, but you could have the best television show in the world, but if you put it on opposite a presidential debate, nobody's going to see it.
Right.
That's what this is. This is what's happening. I know Jessica is going to have it tuned in, and there'll be some people there. But if you want to really bring in everybody that got caught up in this unprecedented summer of the WNBA, you can't make it hard for us. You can't make it where, well, I guess if the football game's boring, I'll turn over here and see what's going on. You gotta. This is our night. This is our stage. There's got to be a better way to do it. I hope they figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 5.
I got some bad news. Were you planning on living a long life? Because you're probably not going to.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't. I'm hard, dude. I'm 37. I'm already starting to break down a little bit.
I know, me too.
I don't like that. So yeah, am I planning to live a long life? Probably not.
Okay, good.
I would hope to.
Good.
I want to live a fulfilling life.
Yeah, I want to live a fulfilling life. It doesn't have to be the longest. I don't have to have the longest life. I would just like to be fulfilled. How you doing? Do you feel fulfilled?
I do feel fulfilled. I mean, I'd like a couple more years for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like a couple more years. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I'm not getting it twisted.
But do I expect to live to be 100? Absolutely not.
Okay. Oh, hey, by the way, what percentage of Americans make it to 100? What do you think?
I'll say 30%.
Are you crazy?
10%. 5%. 2%.
2%.
2% of Americans live to be 100. Yeah, why did I say that?
I don't know. The most obvious answer is you're terrible at math.
Yeah, I would think that like maybe 90. I would say if you said 90.
Yeah, I didn't know. I said 100.
I know you said 100.
2% of Americans make it to 100. 5% of folks in Japan make it to 100. And in Hong Kong, it's 9%.
How about that?
Do you realize... Don't let me bury the lead. I'll give you all the other stuff in a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the lead. A researcher has predicted that human life expectancy will not grow much more. It has consistently been growing with, medicine breakthroughs, technology. It has consistently grown. Like if you were born in 1900, you were expected to live a certain amount of years. But if you were born in 1950, it's even more years. 1980, it's even more years. This has been a trend for as long as you've been alive, Bennett.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. It's starting to plateau a little bit, taper off a little bit. And do you want to know why? Here's what the researcher says. He says that we've just about stretched it as far as we can stretch it. Because the aging process is real. Mm-hmm. You can try to slow it down, but you can't stop it. And you will die.
What about that dude that's like injecting like his son's blood into his bloodstream? Have you seen that story? Like the rich guy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it's all above board. Like
there are serious people who think that we are like a breakthrough or two away from living to we're 150. And what this study shows is that we're not really.
So this guy that I'm talking about is one of those people and I think he's in his 50s. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it is, but sure, he's like in really good shape and whatever. Like he looks good for a 50-year-old, right? But he still looks like he could be like a 50-year-old. Like, and so I'm like, it's something like I guess it's like he injects his son's blood into his bloodstream, and it's like the younger blood. Like, very strange.
I don't know.
But I just look at pictures of him, and I'm like, okay, man, like, yeah, you look good for a 50-year-old, but you still look like a 50-year-old. Yeah. I don't know what you're trying to prove here.
I don't know what Here's the quote. He said, we're squeezing less and less life out of these life-extending technologies, and the reason is aging gets in the way. Aging gets in the way. Like we can extend. Here's the point. We have figured out ways to extend life, but we've pretty much maxed out on it.
Okay.
It's about over. Do you know what the average life expectancy for a man in the United States is?
I'm going to say it is 68 years old.
74.8.
Okay.
74.8.
I'd take it.
I'd take that.
I would take that right now. You said you give me 74 right now. Sign me up. I'm in.
I think I'd have to.
Yeah.
You realize no men in my family have like made it to 70.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I ain't got a good chance.
You're in good shape, man.
Look at me.
Nah, you're in good shape. You've changed your. I saw that picture that they posted of you when they thought you were Dan Hurley the other day. You've come a long way.
I'm working. Yeah, I'm working. I guess. I think maybe you take 74.8. I think maybe you do. Women. Life expectancy for women in the United States, you know what it is?
I bet it is 81.
It's 80.2. Mm-hmm. Women live longer than men. You want to know why?
Yeah.
There's some theories. You want to know why? Men in the United States die more often than women from drug overdoses.
Okay.
Men commit suicide more often than women.
Okay.
Men smoke more than women.
Yep.
And consume alcohol more than women.
That's a big one.
And men do not exercise as much as women.
Okay. Yeah, but it's like both of my grandmothers lived way, way longer than their husbands.
See?
Yeah.
See? Do you know we're not even in the top 40 nationally in life expectancy? The United States of America.
Oh, I know why.
Why?
Our food.
That's part of it.
It's our food. Everybody says that when you go, like people that moved from the United States and lived in other countries, they say that like they got healthier, that they felt healthier, and it's because our foods have all kinds of crap in them.
Our food is crap.
Yeah.
Also, in other countries, they tend to walk more than we walk here.
Yeah.
Like
I'm trying to walk more.
Every year, when I start traveling back and forth to New York every week, people say things like, "Oh, you enjoying the food?" And the truth is, like, I lose weight every year when I'm in New York because of the walking.
Yeah.
You're just walking more.
That's why I like
working. I walk to work.
That's why I like working downtown, because like we get done with the show, I'll go walk around, get some lunch.
Like I walk a mile to work every day, and I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like if somebody told you, "Hey, step out your front door today and walk a mile somewhere," you'd be like, "What?" But in the big city, you just walk around. It feels normal. So yeah, we got a lot of problems here in the United States. Food is one of them. Obesity. Among the reasons our life expectancy in the United States isn't top 40 in the world, obesity tied to the food. Also, we have more drug overdoses than other countries. We have more shootings than other countries. And we have inequities in healthcare coverage that make it difficult for people to take care of themselves.
Yeah. That all makes sense.
You'd think being the most advanced and most powerful nation, we'd be better at some of this stuff, you know?
I know. It's true. Like people scared to go to the doctor because they don't want the bill. I mean, it just is what it is.
There's got to be a better.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way to do this.
There's got to be. Yeah. There's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, sign me up for 74.
Yeah, me too.
I'd lock it in right now.
I'll lock that in too.
And I'd be grateful to live that long.
Me too.
So.
Me too. Anyway, if you were planning to live to 150, I mean, don't let me ruin it for you. Give it your best shot.
Yeah, go for it.
But what research is telling us is that that's just probably not the way this is going to go.
Yeah.
Aging gets in the way. I figured it would.
I figured it would.
Be back with GP's Carryout.
This is my favorite one-hit wonder of all time. You can listen up, because here's a story about a little guy that lives in a blue world.
I was gonna take this!
And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and out, I'm blue.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Ja Morant the player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. It's a beautiful day in Memphis, Tennessee. Not so beautiful down in Florida, waiting on Hurricane Milton to make landfall.
When is that?
Oh, it's soon.
Overnight, right?
I think it's a few hours away.
Oh, it's happening this afternoon?
I think it will be a today thing at some point today. They've already closed the famous Sky Bridge in Tampa that connects Tampa to St. Pete.
Yeah.
They've already had to close it because of winds. And did you see the reports? They're expecting flood surges of 15 feet.
Jeez.
Like there are some homes that aren't even 15
That's all,
feet.
right.
Right. Your whole home would be underwater. Did you see the viral picture of, it might have been fake. If so, I don't even want to say it. I feel like an idiot if it's fake. Then I'm just as gullible as all the gullible people I talk about.
I'll be the judge.
Do you see this picture?
What?
Some guy had strapped his house down?
Oh, I did see that.
Was that real?
I think that was a real picture. No, the weird thing that I'm seeing is people wrapping their cars up in like plastic wrap. I don't really know what that accomplishes.
Well, does it keep the water out?
I guess it keeps the water out.
I guess it keeps. Did you? How long did you couldn't figure that out? You couldn't figure that out, Bennett?
I guess it keeps the water out.
Yeah.
I also saw a video of okay, this is the funniest one. This one's really making the rounds. It's a guy who owns like a motorcycle.
It's like you just said, and then I walked into the bathroom and they had a curtain on their shower. And I just don't, what's the point of a shower curtain?
Okay, well, what's the point of plastic wrap around your car if your car floats like 18 miles down the street and you can't find it when you get home?
Oh, you can find it. You have to use your app.
Yeah, whatever.
You probably have an app on your phone.
Yeah, it's not gonna, that plastic wrap ain't gonna help when your car's like crashed into a home. But
look at that. That's the home I'm talking about. Is that real?
I think that's real. I think that's real. That's not the worst idea.
It looks crazy, but it might work.
It might work. No,
I don't know.
No, this one was this guy. He owns a motorcycle shop, and he has a guy like on the ground next to the windows of the shop, and he is spraying. He put like a foam like coating on at the bottom of the windows, and is spraying them with Flex Seal, and it's like, okay, dude, like your window, if the water gets that high, your windows are just going to bust. Like, what are you, I mean, what do you do? The Flex Seal's not going to work.
Isn't it crazy that people are living like this every year? You just
there it is.
What's my guy
good
doing?
get, Abigail. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, what is that going to do?
I don't know, but you do. I guess, Bennett, you don't know how you'd act until you have a Hurricane Milton headed your direction.
I mean, I've used Flex Seal before, but like it ain't gonna protect you from hurricane. That's not gonna happen.
They're doing the best they can. You know?
I understand. It's just when you watch, like, if you listen to the audio, how cocky both of those dudes are talking about that. I'm just like, okay, well, I can't wait to revisit.
It is really scary that, because I was reading some reports on this morning. There are people who either stubbornly say, I'm not leaving my home, or can't leave their home for a variety of reasons. And they really might die. And
it is, I mean, dude, to be able to evacuate a city like Tampa seems damn near impossible.
Well, everybody will not get out of there.
Of course not.
And what they are telling you is that if you don't get out of there, you might die. And, I mean, it was such like a no-nonsense conversation this morning. I saw on television, they were talking to somebody from Tampa who's like in charge of evacuations and emergency situations. And she was just talking about it just in a straightforward way.
Yeah.
And they were like, so what would you tell somebody who is in one of these evacuation areas who can't leave their home or has chosen not to leave their home? What would you tell them? And she was like, get a life jacket.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to swim out of your house.
Jeez, man.
Like, it's just, we get worked up every day about just the small stuff.
Yeah, like me losing my power once a week. Yeah, right.
And that's a pain in the ass.
Of course.
I reject the idea that because something really awful is happening somewhere, you can't complain about your less awful stuff.
Sure.
There's somebody with terminal cancer right now, right? So if I had the flu, it's not terminal cancer, but I'd still feel like shit if I had the flu.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd still be upset with it, and I'd still feel sick, and it wouldn't be great. I don't like the idea of where you can't complain about your power going out in Memphis because, like, what if your house got swept away by a hurricane? It sucks when your power goes out. But it's great that really the worst we deal with is just like your power goes out every few days. Man. We're not having to evacuate anything.
Right.
And did you see they also have tornadoes?
That's crazy.
There are hurricanes and tornadoes hanging out together down in Tampa.
The tornado's just a spawn of the hurricane?
It's all part of the same
It's a spawn of the hurricane.
Storm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You don't know whether to evacuate or get into or to tuck your head between your legs.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a hurricane coming. Evacuate. Also a tornado. Get in your bathtub. I thought you told me to evacuate. Yeah, put a mattress over yourself in your bathtub. It's hard.
Well, that's the thing, too, is you have all these people stuck on the interstates like that are having trouble getting out of there because it's just bumper to bumper, right?
Yes.
And yeah. So that'd be, I mean, imagine being stuck on the interstate when that comes through.
I can't imagine living like that. I bet you this is the type of thing that will make
people move.
Yeah, they'll just say, we can't keep living like this. You know, we can't do this we just did one of these a week ago.
That's right. And this is supposed to be obviously way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope it ends. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than hope that it isn't as bad as they're saying it's going to be. Right.
Because if it is as bad as they say it's going to be,
yeah,
it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Let's do GP's carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly in the first hour focus on the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic that is scheduled for Tuesday inside FedExForum. Daily Memphian had a story last night where Vice President works with Alsac told the Daily Memphian that only about 5,000 tickets have been claimed so far for the doubleheader next week, with all proceeds benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They're hoping for 10,000. That's what they would call a good crowd.
Yeah.
But right now we're only about half of that. And it does seem like among the issues is that, it's priced in a way where it is, you want to sit in the lower level, it's expensive.
Yeah.
When I was at Ticketmaster.com earlier, and I just went and got 4 lower level tickets, I think section 114, once you added all the fees, and it was nearly $500 for 4 tickets in the lower deck. So that's a lot of money to pay to watch exhibition basketball. The point I made earlier is, if you're trying to rationalize this, like, is it worth paying this much money to go watch an exhibition basketball game? You might settle on probably not, right? Most people who attend exhibition basketball games over the next month are not going to be asked to pay as much money as people will be asked to pay Tuesday night to sit in the lower level at FedExForum. That's just a fact. And if you think of it strictly as, is this worth it? We could go to a Grizzlies game in the regular season for less money than what it's going to cost to go to this. If you start thinking about it in those terms, you're just not going to reach a good place. I think the better way to think of it, if you can afford to do things like this, is that it's just a GoFundMe that will benefit St. Jude, sure, but also downtown, also FedExForum, also the University of Memphis, also Penny Hardaway's program. There's a chance this could turn into a real significant annual regular season event. And every January, we would have the Grizzlies hosting a big MLK Day event. And then also every season, we'd have the Tigers hosting a big doubleheader or tournament, something.
Yeah.
Connected to St. Jude, big television partners. There's a chance this could turn into something really cool. But what they're telling us is, if Tuesday night's not really cool, then it probably won't be everything that it could become. And so if you are somebody who cares about Memphis, somebody who cares about the University of Memphis, somebody who holds a special place in your heart for St. Jude, think of it as a GoFundMe. I am making a donation. Yeah, we're going to take our family downtown and watch some basketball. But more than that, we're trying to help an amazing hospital and a downtown that we care about and a university that we care about. If you can wrap your head around it in those terms, I think it's a little more sensible. It'd be nice to have a great crowd on Tuesday night, and we'll see if we can get there.
What's today's biggest game?
What are you even talking about?
All right.
4:08 first pitch, Citi Field, Queens, New York. It's the Phillies and the Mets. Game 4 of a best of 5 series. Closeout game for New York after the Mets won yesterday. Ranger Suarez on the bump for Philadelphia. Jose Quintana will be pitching for the Mets. New York -120. Philadelphia's even money. How you going to act?
Well, we won yesterday.
Yeah. You know your record?
No. What is it?
Oh, Bennett.
Where are we at?
You're doing. You're 152. 152 and 4. Negative 17.1 units.
I mean, if we won with the Mets yesterday, you just gotta try to ride the train.
I think you got to try to ride the train.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go for a series win.
What I thought I saw yesterday was a defeated Phillies team.
Yeah, I think we need a series win.
I think they've been beaten down.
You got to close it out. You got to close it out.
I feel like you got to close.
You got to close it out.
I would never say never, because the Mets they've been surprising people for weeks now.
Yeah, right.
All right. I'd never say no way they can win a Game 5 in Philadelphia, but I'd rather not even try it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going. If we get to a Game 5 in Philadelphia, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk myself into it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather not have to do that though. I'd rather just avoid the whole situation. Just close it out. Close it out at home.
Close it out.
Bennett says he's taking the Mets at -120. First pitch 4:08. FS1.
What are we watching on TV?
Starting 5 has dropped on Netflix.
Okay.
You familiar?
No.
It's the documentary that spent all of last NBA season following around LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Domantas Sabonis, and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Behind the scenes at the All-Star game, behind the scenes in the NBA Finals, behind the scenes the entire season. 10 parts.
What, is Sabonis just sad the whole time?
I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a sad person.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would he be sad?
Well, I mean, all those other guys had success last year.
Yeah. Maybe he is sad. I don't know. I have to watch.
Maybe that's how you balance a show like that. Is you got to have someone that's.
Can you invest 10 hours? Can you invest 10 hours in behind the scenes LeBron James, Anthony Edwards footage?
No.
I think this is the type of thing where I just go, send me the highlights.
Yeah.
Send me the best stuff.
Like, I'll wait for the quintessential LeBron Last Dance documentary.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Right. Like, I'll watch that.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't watched much of the sports stuff on Netflix. The quarterback and the receiver.
I haven't either.
I don't even watch. I haven't even watched the second season of Full Swing, and I'm a golf fan.
Yeah, I used to watch Last Chance U, and then I quit watching it because it kind of changed, and they went to different schools, and it just became like that show was cool early on because it was new, but now it's like you can tell that they know the cameras and all. You know what I mean? Like it's Last Chance U. Like everybody knows what that is now.
Right.
I thought the first couple seasons were good, and then it just didn't do it for me anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to say never. I did watch the Vince McMahon one last week.
Oh, that was great. I loved that.
I loved that too.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It's like a history lesson.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
Like, here's the history of wrestling. I thought it was wonderful. But I don't know. I doubt I'll give this a shot. But if you want to, you can. It's at Netflix.com right now, starting 5. Documentary on LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, and Sado Domantas Sabonis.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, I haven't read it yet, but I've got it bookmarked because people are reading it and saying it's great. Dave Wilson, ESPN.com, wrote a profile of Barry Switzer, the legendary Oklahoma Sooners coach who still lives in Norman, 87 years old.
Okay, Barry.
And he's still just around, and, he's like the mayor of Norman.
Yeah.
He's just sort of still there. And apparently the piece is terrific. So it's on the homepage, ESPN.com. Dave Wilson on Barry Switzer.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday. First preseason game for the Grizz at home. Be tomorrow
I'll
night
be there
inside FedExForum.
About to go try the new concessions. Yeah, they're doing a special little preview for the staff today.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw that Chick-fil-A. I saw the Chick-fil-A set up inside FedExForum now.
Honestly, I want to give people credit where it's due. Like, I think there was maybe a little criticism of just the concessions or lack of options and stuff like
Was
that.
there?
I think there was you saw little rumblings from the fan base.
I didn't see those rumblings.
Well,
people have been rumbling.
There was rumblings last season. They clearly addressed it because they got all kinds of new stuff. You mentioned Chick-fil-A, but there's all kinds of other stuff. Tacos and Ganas is coming in. They're going to have a self-serving concession stand, which is pretty unique. I don't know how many of those are around the league, so it's cool. They got a lot of new things this year that you're going to see at Grizzlies games.
So it'll be your first opportunity to check out some of it tomorrow night. We'll get you ready for that. And then this is going to be a lot of fun. Parrish London is going to come sit in studio with me. Former high school All-American.
Throwback.
University of Memphis standout. I don't know if I've seen Parrish in 20 years, 25 years.
You covered him, right?
In high school, yeah.
Overton Star, right? Is that right?
I believe Hamilton.
Okay, my bad.
But Parrish London was an incredible prospect.
Yeah.
I probably knew him when he was a kid. The reason I'm bringing Parrish London in is because of the hoops for St. Jude Classic.
Cool.
His son was a St. Jude patient. So Parrish has a real connection to the University of Memphis, to basketball in this area, but he also understands that hospital better than most of us do. Because, he's, I just can't imagine.
Right.
Your little boy's out there right now.
Yeah.
That Parrish and his family went through just a nightmare of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
But because that beautiful place is downtown, it's a story with a beautiful ending. So Parrish London going to join me in studio tomorrow. I can't wait to catch up with him. Should be fun. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.